Ezra chapter 1. So, like in the primo year of Cyrus, the big kahuna of Persia, the Lord totally stirred his spirit, dude, so the word he dropped through Jeremiah would happen. And Cyrus was all fired up and made this mega announcement across his kingdom, and even wrote it down. Yo, this is from Cyrus, king of Persia. The Lord, like the legit God of heaven, gave me all these kingdoms to rule, and he told me to build him a house in Jerusalem, down in Judah. So, like, if you're one of his peeps, may your God totally be with you. Head on up to Jerusalem in Judah and help build the Lord's house. The God of Israel, yeah, that's the one in Jerusalem. And like, wherever any of you are chillin', the locals should totally hook you up. Silver, gold, gear, animals, and some righteous free will offerings for the Lord's house back in Jerusalem. Then, like, the tribal leaders from Judah and Benjamin, and all the priests and Levites whose spirits were lit by God, were like, let's do this, and got ready to build the Lord's house in Jerusalem. Everyone around them was super stoked too, and they pitched in with silver, gold, gear, animals, and other precious stuff, and tons of sweet offerings just 'cause they wanted to. Oh, and King Cyrus even brought out the holy bling, the sacred stuff that Nebuchadnezzar jacked from Jerusalem and stashed in his own god house. Cyrus was like, hey Mithridath, my main money guy, hand all this over to Sheshbazzar, the Judah boss. Here's the loot count. 30 gold plates, 1,000 silver plates, 29 super old knives. 30 gold bowls, 410 of the silver ones, like, second tier but still chill, and 1,000 other things. Altogether, like 5,400 gold and silver vibes. Sheshbazzar hauled all of it back up with the exiles from Babylon to Jerusalem. Ezra chapter 2. So, like, these are the chill peeps from the province who totally bounced back from Babylon. They were, like, exiled by Nebuchadnezzar, but now they're heading back home to their cities in Judah and Jerusalem. Epic comeback. And they rolled deep with Zerubbabel, Jeshua, Nehemiah, Sariah, Reelaiah, Mordecai, Bilshan, Mizpar, Bigvai, Rehum, and Baanah. And here's the head count of Israel's crew. Parashah's squad? 2,172 bros. Shephatiah's fam? 372. Era's people? 775, legit. Pahath Moab's tribe, that's Jeshua and Joab's lineage, came in at 2,812. Whoa, major family reunion. Elam's descendants? 1,254. Solid turnout. Zadah's gang had 945. Classic. Zakai's crew? 760. Not too shabby. Bonnie's line? 642 strong. Respect. Bibey's bunch? 623. Asgad's tribe? A whopping 1,222. Gnarly. Adonikam's line had 666. Kinda spooky, dude. Bigvai's squad? 2,056. That's like a crowd at a beach concert. Aidan's family? 454. Ater's descendants from Hezekiah's line? 98. Small but mighty. Bazai's bunch? 323. Yora's fam? 112. Low-key but still rad. Hashem's peeps? 223. Gibar's crew? 95. Keeping it tight. The Bethlehem fam? A sweet little crew of 123. Small-town vibes, you know? Netapha dudes? Like 56. Compact but committed. Anathoth bros? 128. Respectable. Asmavetha's gang? Just 42, short but fierce. The whole squad from Kirjatharim, Kephara, and Beeroth? 743. Now that's a triple-town tour. Rama and Gabba's tribe? 621. Solid turnout, dudes. Mikmash Repin with 122. Bethel and Ai? 223. Righteous. Nebo's crew? 52. Not too gnarly, but they showed up. Magbish repping with 156. Sweet. The other Elam fam? 1,254. Same name, twice the size. Haram's homies? 320. Midsize and mighty. Lod, Hadid, and Ono teamed up with 725. Team Collab Vibes. Jericho Squad? 345. Walls are down, spirits are up. Cena's crew? 3,630. Whoa, city takeover incoming. Now let's talk priests. Jedaiah's fam from Jeshua's house? 973. That's holy hustle. Immer's fam? A chill 1,052. Pasher's people? 1,247. Big OL priest posse. Harem again? 1,017. Sacred and stacked. Levites representing Jeshua and Kadmiel from Hodaviah's line brought 74 rad temple bros. Singers? That's Asaph's music fam, 128 melodious legends. Gatekeepers, or holy bouncers, if you will Shalom, Ater, Talman, Akub, Haditha, Shobai all together? 139. No unclean hands past this line, bro. So like, the Nethinims? Yeah, they're basically the temple crew, and that includes the fams of Ziha, Hasupha, and Tabaoth. Then you've got Kuras, Saiha, and Padon's squads. Sacred Vibes, also repping Libana, Hagaba, and Akub. Kind of a low-key holy lineup. Can't forget Hagab, Shalmai, and Hanan. Those guys were totally on the helper roster. More of the tribe. Gittel, Gahar, and Rhea. Steady and faithful. Rezin, Nekoda, and Gazam jumped in too. Totally dependable dudes. Uzzah, Pasia, and Bisay were like, count us in, bro. The Asna crew, Mehunim fam, and Nefusim gang. All hands on deck. Plus the Backbuck boys, Hakufa homies, and Harher heads. Way to represent. Add in Basleth, Mehida, and Harsha, stacking up the squad. Barkos, Sisera, and Thama rolled up too. Yeah, it was a party of faith. Rounding out the set. Nizia and Hatifa, total servant energy. Then there's the descendants of Solomon's butler bros, like Sotai, Sophareth, and Peruda. Royal assistant vibes. Jala, Darkon, and Gittel again. Classic comeback crew. Shephatiah, Hatil, Patrith of Zebaim, and Ami. Deep cut lineage right there. In total, that whole squad, Nethanim's and Solomon's staff kids, was like 392 strong. Whoa. Then there were folks from Telmela, Telharsa, Cherub, Adon, and Immer, but like they couldn't prove their ancestry. Awkward. Deliah, Tobiah, and Nekoda's crew? Same deal. 652 uncertain folk. And check this, even some priest fams like Habiah, Kaz, and Barzillai, who married into the Barzillai crew of Gilead, couldn't find their paperwork. So when they tried to register, the records were like, nope, and they got booted from priest status. Harsh, right? The Tirshatha, that's like the boss leader dude, was all, no holy food for you until a legit priest rolls up with the Urim and Thummim. Super exclusive. Altogether, the whole crowd totaled 42,360 people. That's like an ancient megacon. Plus they had 7,337 servants and maids. And get this, 200 singers. So much ancient karaoke. Their horse game? 736, not bad. Mules? 245 camels? 435, and donkeys? Like a whopping 6,720. Total road trip vibes. So when the tribal VIPs made it to the house of the Lord in Jerusalem, they were like, let's totally donate to rebuild. And they gave big. They dropped 61,000 gold drams, 5,000 pounds of silver, and 100 sets of priestly drip. Fashion meets faith, y'all. So like, the priests, Levites, singers, gate dudes, and all the temple helpers settled in their towns, and all Israel got cozy in their own places. Home sweet holy home. Ezra chapter 3. So like, when the 7th month rolled in and all the Israelites were chillin' in their own towns, they totally came together in total squad unity in Jerusalem. Then Jeshua, the son of Jozadak, and his priest bros, plus Zerubbabel, the son of Shealtiel and his crew, were like, dude, let's build the altar for the big guy upstairs. So they did, just like Moses the legendary prophet said. They plopped that altar right where it belonged, even though they were kind of freaked out by the locals. Still, they were like, whatever, and kept the fire going with burnt offerings every morning and evening. They also threw the Feast of Tabernacles party, totally old school style, offering up daily sacrifices just like the tradition says. #holy habit. And after that, they kept the whole burnt offering vibe going, new moons, big feast days, and even the I just feel like it offerings. So heartfelt, so faithful. They started bringing offerings from day 1 of month 7, even though the temple foundation hadn't even been poured yet. Like super early birds, they tossed cash to the stone dudes and wood guys, and stocked up the Sidonians and Tyrians with food and drink and olive oil to haul some mega cedar logs from Lebanon to Joppa, just like King Cyrus gave them the green light for. Then in year 2, month 2, after their big return to the Holy House, Zerubbabel and Jeshua gathered the priest and Levite bros, 20 and up, and were like, let's build this place up for real. Jeshua and his sons, Kadmiel and his sons, plus the sons of Judah and Henadad's fam, totally rallied together to hype up the workers building God's house. Teamwork, bro. So when the builders laid down that holy foundation, the priests got dressed up in their worship gear, grabbed trumpets, and the Levites, Asaph's descendants, jammed out on cymbals, just like King David had planned back in the day. They were singing this super rad jam. He is, like, totally good. His mercy never bails on Israel. And the crowd went wild, like, full-volume worship explosion. But some of the old-timer priests and tribal dads, who had actually seen the original temple back in the day, totally started bawling. Meanwhile, others were cheering like it was game day. It got so wild that no one could tell if people were crying or hyped out of their minds, just pure emotion echoing for miles. Ezra chapter 4. So, like, when the haters of Judah and Benjamin heard the exiles were rebuilding the Lord's temple. Total freak-out moment. They came up to Zerubbabel and the squad of elder dudes and were like, hey, let us build with you guys. We totes seek your God too. We've been vibing with him since the days of Esarhaddon, king of Assyria. He brought us here, remember? But Zerubbabel, Jeshua, and the rest of the OG Israelite leaders were like, you've got zero part in building this house for our God. We've got this covered. Cyrus the king of Persia told us we're the ones who gotta do it. After that, the locals majorly harshed the vibe. They straight up tried to freak out the builders and totally mess with their momentum. They even hired shady consultants just to throw roadblocks in their path. This sabotage went on all the way from Cyrus's reign through King Darius. Talk about relentless. And when King Ahasuerus took over, the haters wrote a tattletale scroll accusing the people of Judah and Jerusalem of being super rebellious. Drama. Then in Artaxerxes' time, Bishlam, Mithridath, Tabeel, and their whole clique wrote a message to the king. It was in the fancy Syrian script, and totally translated too. Extra effort for extra shade. Rehum the chancellor and Shimshai the scribe even took it up a notch. They sent a formal letter of complaint about Jerusalem to Artaxerxes the king. It was signed by like everyone, Rehum, Shimshai, and all their peeps. The Dinoites, Aphrasathites, Tarpelites, Apharsites, Archavites, Babylonians, Susankites, Dehavites, and Elamite. Basically, a who's who of anti-rebuild energy. Plus all the other random nations that Asnapar the big boss had relocated into Samaria and the region west of the Euphrates. Like a whole anti-Judah squad. So here's what they wrote. Yo King Artaxerxes, your humble servants from the west side of the river are checking in. So, like, heads up, those Jews you sent here? They've come back to Jerusalem and are totally rebuilding that rebellious, chaotic city. They're even restoring the walls and laying foundations. Like, yikes. Just saying, King, if that gnarly city gets rebuilt and they set up those walls again, like, they're totally not gonna pay taxes, tolls, or customs. Your royal wallet is gonna take a major hit. And like, since we get our paycheck from the palace, and we'd hate to see you, our king, get disrespected and lose face, we just had to tell you what's up. So, if you check the history scrolls of your royal ancestors, you'll see this city has a bad rap. Total rebels. They stirred up drama for kings and whole provinces forever. That's why it got demolished. So yeah, we're just keeping it real. If they rebuild this place and those walls go up, you're gonna lose your grip on everything west of the river. No more royal turf there, dude. So the king hit reply and was like, Yo Rehum, Shimshai, and all your bros in Samaria and the West River crew, peace and what's up? I got your letter. Read it out loud. Totally got the vibe. I had the palace nerds dig into the records, and guess what? They were right. That city has always been a rebellious drama magnet. Full-on sedition, total insurrection energy. Jerusalem used to have some pretty powerful kings, bro. They ruled all the way past the river, and people totally paid them taxes and tolls. Legit power back then. So here's the royal order. Shut down the build. Stop them immediately. No hammering or hauling until I say otherwise. And don't slack off on this, dudes. I don't want royal profits going up in smoke, 'cause y'all were chillin' instead of stopping this. So the moment Rehum, Shimshai, and the squad got the king's message, they booked it to Jerusalem and totally forced the Jews to stop construction. Hardcore shutdown, power move style. So, the whole building of God's house in Jerusalem hit pause mode. And it stayed that way, till the second year of King Darius. Ezra chapter 5. So the prophets Haggai and Zechariah, he's Iddo's boy, totally started vibing the word to the Jews in Judah and Jerusalem, straight up in God's name. Major spiritual wake-up call. Then Zerubbabel, Shealtiel's dude, and Jeshua, son of Jozadak, no big deal, were let's do this, and kicked off construction on the house of God in Jerusalem. And the prophets were right there with them, like holy hype men. Right around that time, this guy Tatnai, the local governor, and his bros like Shetharboznai and the crew rolled up and were like, who gave you the thumbs up to build this house and wall it up? So we were like, okay, but first, who wants names? 'Cause we got names of every bro laying bricks here. But God totally had our backs. His eyes were on us, so those dudes couldn't shut us down, not till the whole thing got escalated to King Darius. So we just kept vibing while they fired off a royal email. Here's the full DM they sent. Tatnai the governor, Shetharboznai, and the Apharsachite homies on this side of the river wrote it up to King Darius. The message was basically Hey King D, peace and good vibes from your loyal civil servants. Just FYI, we cruised over to Judea and checked out this mega temple project for the great God they worship. They're using massive stones, sturdy timber, top-tier craftsmanship, and it's moving fast, dude. Super efficient. So we were who said you could build this place and throw up these huge walls? And yeah, we asked for names too. Gotta keep the record straight, Your Majesty. And here's what the builders told us. We're the humble servants of the God of heaven and earth. This house was built way back by a totally awesome king of Israel. But then, our ancestors got gnarly and made God super mad, so he let Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon and certified bad dude, totally wreck the temple and take everyone to Babylon. But later, King Cyrus, rad ruler of Babylon at the time, totally reversed course and was rebuild the house of God. He even gave back all the gold and silver stuff that Nebuchadnezzar had swiped. Gave it to this bro named Sheshbazzar, the new gov in town. Cyrus said, take all this stuff back to Jerusalem and rebuild God's pad in its proper spot. So Sheshbazzar got things started and laid the foundation. And yeah, we've been working on it ever since, but it's not finished yet. So if the king is chill with it, maybe do a records check in the royal archives over in Babylon, just to see if Cyrus really did give the go-ahead. Then let us know what you want to do next, Your Highness. Ezra chapter 6. So King Darius was okay, let's totally check the ancient scroll stash. and had his crew dig through the archives in Babylon. And boom! They found this old scroll in the royal summer pad at Ecmetha, Chillon in the province of the Medes. The record said, in year 1 of King Cyrus' epic reign, he dropped this gnarly decree. Let the house of God in Jerusalem be built, like for real. That's where they do the whole offering thing. Make sure the foundation is super sturdy, go 60 cubits high and 60 wide, like majestic. Do 3 layers of massive stones and 1 layer of fresh timber. And yeah, it's all on me, charge the royal credit card. Also, grab all the gold and silver stuff Nebuchadnezzar swiped from God's temple and totally return it to Jerusalem. Like, put every single item back in the house of God where it belongs. So now, Tatnai the river dude Shetharboznai, and your whole squad of Apharsakite bros, you guys need to back off. Let the Jewish crew do their thing. Don't touch the project. The governor and the elders have got this. The house of God is going up, and it's staying put. Also, here's what I, King Darius, am laying down. From the royal funds, yes, even the tax money from your side of the river, start supplying the builders ASAP. No red tape, dudes. Whatever they need, like young bulls, rams, lambs, or even groceries like wheat, salt, wine, and oil, hook 'em up every single day, no skips, no excuses. The priests in Jerusalem will tell you what's up. That way they can keep the sweet aroma sacrifices going to the God of heaven and pray for me and my boys. Like, good vibes only. Oh, and listen up. If anyone messes with this decree, we're gonna yank timber from their house, plant it like a pole, and hang that fool on it. Then we're turning their house into, like, a literal dumpster. Brutal but fair. And may the big G upstairs, yeah, the one who totally owns the naming rights to that temple, wipe out any king or crew that tries to destroy or tweak this holy house in Jerusalem. I, Darius, have said it. So like, make it happen fast, capice? So like, Tatnai the Gov, Shetharboznai, and all their river bros totally followed King Darius's memo. Like, lightning fast, no slacking. And the Jewish elders? They built that temple like legends, getting super pumped from the prophecy vibes of Haggai and Zechariah. They crushed it and finished the temple, just like God told them to, and per the orders of Cyrus, Darius, and Artaxerxes, the Persian triple threat. The whole temple sitch was wrapped up on the 3rd day of Adar, in Darius's 6th year. Big moment. The Israelites, priests, Levites, and everyone who came back from exile threw a rager to dedicate the temple, with total joy vibes, like it was the best day ever. For the party, they brought serious offerings: 100 bulls, 200 rams, 400 lambs, and 12 he-goats for sin offerings, 1 per tribe, like full-on holy barbecue. They organized the priests and Levites into squads, just like Moses' original setup, to keep the God service running smooth in Jerusalem. Then on the 14th of the 1st month, they threw down Passover style. The priests and Levites were squeaky clean, like, spiritually spotless, and they prepped the lambs for all the returned exiles, their priest homies, and themselves. Everyone who ditched the gnarly pagan ways and came back to God joined in on the feast. Like, total unity under the big G. They vibed out with unleavened bread for 7 days of pure joy, because God was like, I got you, and even made the king of Assyria chill and supportive. Their hands were steady for the house of God, the God of Israel. Ezra chapter 7. So like, after all that went down, during the epic reign of King Artaxerxes of Persia, this dude Ezra shows up. He's the son of Sariah, who's the son of Azariah, who's the son of Hilkiah, lineage vibes, you know? Hilkiah was the son of Shallum, who was the son of Zadok, who was the son of Ahitub, like a whole priestly family tree. Then you've got Mariah, son of Azariah, son of Meraioth, yeah, still going. And Meraioth was the son of Zerahiah, who was the son of Uzzi, who was the son of Buki, deep roots, bro. Buki came from Abishua, then Phinehas, then Eleazar, and finally Aaron, the original head priest, like the OG spiritual boss. Ezra was totally prepped in the law of Moses, handed down from God to Israel. And the king? He gave Ezra whatever he asked for, 'cause God's hand was straight up blessing him, no joke. So like a bunch of Israelites, including priests, Levites, singers, gatekeepers, and temple helpers, aka Nethinims, headed up to Jerusalem with Ezra during King Artaxerxes' 7th year. They rolled into Jerusalem in the 5th month of that year. Fashionably faithful, you know? Ezra started the road trip on the 1st day of the 1st month, and by the 1st day of the 5th month, boom, he was in Jerusalem. God's vibes were strong on him the whole ride. This dude Ezra had his heart set on, like really knowing God's law, living it out, and teaching all the people of Israel how to ride that righteous wave. Now here's the deal. This is the copy of the letter that King Artaxerxes gave to Ezra the priest, the scribe, the total law geek in the best way. Artaxerxes, the king of all the kings, to Ezra the priest, the legal bro of the God of heaven. Peace out, dude. I'm laying it down. Anyone from the Israelites, their priests, or Levites in my kingdom who totally wants to head to Jerusalem with you, go for it, bro. So like Ezra, you've been sent by the king and his squad of 7 royal advisors to check in on Judah and Jerusalem, all based on the law of your God that you've totally got in your hand. And you're supposed to deliver the silver and gold, freely offered by the king and his bros, to the God of Israel, who, FYI, totally lives in Jerusalem. Plus, any silver and gold you can snag around Babylon, along with what the people and priests pitch in freely for God's house in Jerusalem. Score! Use that cash fast to buy bulls, rams, and lambs. Don't forget their side dishes like grain and drink offerings, and offer 'em up at God's altar in Jerusalem. Whatever's left over, you and your crew can totally decide how to use it. Just make sure it vibes with what your God would want. Oh, and the sacred bling and utensils you've been given for God's house? Deliver those straight to the big guy in Jerusalem. If you need anything else for the temple, like surprise expenses, no stress, just grab it from the king's treasure vault. Serious royal perks, dude. This is a royal word from me, Artaxerxes the king. All you cash handlers chillin' beyond the river, if Ezra the priest, scribe of the God of heaven's laws, needs anything, make it happen. Stat. I'm talking up to 100 talents of silver, 100 measures of wheat, 100 tubs of wine and oil, and salt like. No limit, just go off. Whatever the God of heaven wants, make sure it's done to the max for his house. 'Cause we are not trying to make the God of the universe mad at the royal fam. No wrath vibes, please. Also, total tax-free status for all priests, Levites, singers, gate dudes, temple staff, and helpers. No tolls, no customs, no nada. Let 'em worship in peace. And Ezra, bro, since you've got mad wisdom from God, go appoint judges and local leaders to manage stuff beyond the river. Teach everyone the laws, especially the newbies. And if someone's like, nah, I'm not doing the law, then, whoa, they're gonna face justice. Whether it's exile, confiscation, jail, or even, like, death. Harsh but holy. Praise the Lord, God of our ancestors, for putting all this in the king's heart. Like, he wants to glam up God's house in Jerusalem. And God totally gave me favor in front of the king, his advisors, and all the royal big shots. I felt strong, God had my back. So I rallied some awesome leaders from Israel to come with me on this righteous journey. Ezra chapter 8. Okay, so like, these are the total head honchos of their fams, and this is the rundown of the gnarly crew that cruised up with me from Babylon, back when King Artaxerxes was ruling. From Phinehas's crew, Gershom. From Ithamar's line, Daniel. From King David's line, Haddash. Royal blood, bruh. From Shechaniah's fam, who came from Pharosh's peeps, Zechariah. He rolled in with, like, 150 legit dudes. From Pahath Moab's bros, Elihenai, he's Zerahiah's kid, and he brought 200 guys. Big squad energy. From Shechaniah's clan, this time the Jahaziel branch, 300 strong dudes came along. From Aidan's crew, Ebed, son of Jonathan, and he had 50 bros with him. Small but mighty. From Elam's squad, Jeshaiah, he's Athaliah's boy, and he had 70 guys ready to roll. From Shephatiah's line, Zebediah, son of Michael, and his squad was 80 deep. Solid. From Joab's fam, Obadiah, son of Jehiel, and he brought 218 Radians dudes. Respect. From Shelemith's peeps, his boy Josephia's kid came, with 160 bros in tow. From Bibei's gang, Zechariah, his own son, and they had 28 men tagging along. From Azgad's line, Johanan, son of Hakatan, and he had 110 with him. Pretty chill group. From the last sons of Adonikam, Talkin late arrivals Eliphalet, Jeel, and Shemaiah, and they had 60 guys. Better late than never, am I right? From Bigvi's tribe, Uthai and Zabbud, rolling deep with 70 dudes. Boom. So I got everybody together by this river near Ahava, and we just chilled in tents for 3 days. Straight up camping vibes. I scoped out the peeps and the priests and was like, wait, where are the Levite dudes? So I sent out for some heavy hitters. Eleazar, Ariel, Shemaiah, Elnathan twice, guess he was extra wise. Jerub, Nathan, Zechariah, Meshullam, all total legends. Plus Joarib and another Elnathan, because you can never have too many brainy bros. So I sent those bros with a mission to Iddo, the head dude at Casiphia. I told them exactly what to say to Iddo and his crew, the Nethanim guys, so they could totally hook us up with some ministry dudes for the house of our awesome God. And bro, by the epic hand of our God, major divine props, they brought us this wise guy, wisdom-wise, from Molly's fam, who's a Levite and also one of Israel's tribe brothers. His name was Sherebiah, and he had his sons and bros with him, 18 in total. Then we got Hashabiah and Jeshaiah from Merari's crew, plus their sons and bros, 20 more rad dudes. Also, 220 Nethanim came along. These were the helper guys King David and the nobles had appointed way back for Levite support. And each one had their name on the list. No no-namers here. So we called, a mega fast at the Ahava River. We humbled ourselves hardcore before God to ask Him to totally guide our trip. For us, our kiddos, and all our stuff. I mean, I was kinda embarrassed to ask the king for, bodyguards and horses. 'Cause we already told the king, God's got our backs if we seek Him, but if you ditch Him, brace yourself, 'cause His wrath is no joke. So yeah, we fasted, we prayed, we totally begged God for safety. And dude, He listened! Then I picked 12 of the top priestly bros, including Sherebiah and Hashabiah, and 10 more priest friends. And I weighed out all the silver, gold, and sacred stuff for them. It was the big offering for God's house that came from the king, his crew, and all the Israelites who were vibing with us. I handed over, 650 talents of silver, 100 talents in silver dishes, and 100 in solid gold. Cha-ching! Plus 20 golden bowls worth 1,000 drams, and 2 super fancy bronze items. So shiny, they could have been gold, bro. I told them, you guys are totally holy to the Lord. So are these rad vessels and all this silver and gold. It's the people's free giving to the God of our ancestors. Keep watch, dudes. Guard this stuff until you weigh it all out in front of the priests, Levites, and Israel's fam leaders at God's house in Jerusalem. So the priests and Levites took the goods, silver, gold, and vessels, and were let's go, bringing it to the temple of our awesome God. We bounced from the Ahava River on day 12 of the first month, headed for Jerusalem. And God's hand? Totally on us. He shielded us from bandits and party crashers along the way. We hit Jerusalem and totally chilled for 3 days to catch our breath. On day 4, we officially weighed everything at God's house. Mirmoth, Uriah's kid, and Eleazar, Phinehas's son, were the main money checkers. Jozabad and Noadiah, from Jeshua and Binui's fams, were the Levite backup squad. Every piece was counted and weighed with precision. It was all logged at the time. No sketchy accounting here. The peeps who came out of exile brought gnarly burnt offerings for God. 12 bulls for the 12 tribes, 96 rams, 77 lambs, and 12 goats for sin offerings. It was like a full-on barbecue for the Lord. And we gave the king's letters to his reps and local rulers. They backed us up big time and helped the people and God's house move forward. Ezra chapter 9. So, after all that went down, these high-up dudes came to me and were like, the people of Israel, including the priests and Levites, are totally not keeping their distance from the locals. They're straight up doing gnarly stuff just like the Canaanites, Hittites, Perizzites, Jebusites, Ammonites, Moabites, Egyptians, and Amorites. They've even married their daughters and handed their own over to those people. Now the Holy Squad is, all mixed up with the world, and it's the leaders and VIPs who were the first to mess up. When I heard that, I, totally tore my tunic and cloak off, yanked hair out of my head and beard, ouch, and just sat there in full-blown shock. Frozen. Stunned. Not okay. Then all the folks who actually cared about what God said, the ones who got the shivers when they heard about this whole betrayal, gathered around me. And I just stayed there, speechless and floored, until it was time for the evening sacrifice. When the sun started dipping and it was sacrifice o'clock, I stood up, still super heavy-hearted, and my clothes all shredded, and I, dropped to my knees and raised my hands all dramatic to the Lord my God. And I was like, oh my gosh, God, I'm way too embarrassed to even look up at you right now. Our sins? They're stacked higher than my surfboard rack. We've totally blown it, all the way up to the heavens. This mess has been going on since forever, since our ancestors' time. Because of our bad vibes, our kings and priests got handed over to foreign kings. They got wrecked, swords, exile, looting, and total humiliation. And here we are still feeling it. But now, you've given us this little sparkle of hope. Just a tiny moment of grace. You left a few of us to escape, and gave us a spot in your holy crib so we could see the light again and get some revival action even while still stuck in this mess. We were, total slaves, but you didn't ghost us. You totally showed us mercy through the Persian kings. You helped us rebuild your house, fix the ruins, and gave us some security in Judah and Jerusalem. Epic. But now, God, what can we even say? We've totally ignored your commandments. You told us through your prophets, this land you're moving into? It's gnarly, majorly defiled by the people already living there, with all their creepy habits and gross energy. It's filthy from end to end. So don't, marry their kids or give your kids to them. Don't chase after their stuff or try to win their chill. Stay strong, eat well, and keep the land fly for your kids forever. And after all this junk we've done, you've still been way chill, God. You didn't nuke us like we deserved, you actually saved us. But, are we seriously gonna do it again? Break your commands and hook up with those people who do all the gnarly stuff? Wouldn't that just push you over the edge? You'd totally have the right to wipe us out completely. No survivors, no escapees, nada. Lord God of Israel, you are, so right and just. Here we are, still breathing, barely hanging on, but we're standing in front of you, fully guilty. We can't even pretend to be chill right now. We've got no defense. Ezra chapter 10. So when Ezra was praying, full-on crying and face-planting in front of God's house, this huge crowd of dudes, ladies, and kiddos from Israel came over and started bawling their eyes out too. It was an emotional wipeout. Then Shechaniah, son of Jehiel, he's from Elam's crew, stepped up and was like, dude, we majorly messed up. We married babes from the local pagan scene, which is a total no-no. But hey, there's still hope for Israel. So here's the plan, we make a righteous pact with God. We send away those wives and their kiddos, just like the leaders and everyone who respects God's word have advised. Let's do it by the book, bro. So rise and shine, Ezra. This is your gig. We got your back, man. So, don't flake, go hard. So Ezra stood up like a boss and made the top priests, Levites, and all the peeps of Israel promise to do what was just said. And everyone was like, totally, and they swore. Then Ezra left the whole Godhouse scene and went to chill, but not really, in Johanan's room, son of Eliashib. He didn't eat or sip anything because he was super bummed about how the people who came back from exile were acting. Word got out all across Judah and Jerusalem. Everybody from the exile gang, head to Jerusalem, stat. And the message was like, if you don't show up in 3 days, you lose all your stuff and get kicked out of the squad. Harsh but fair. So all the dudes from Judah and Benjamin rolled into Jerusalem within the 3-day window. It was the 9th month, 20th day, and everyone was sitting in front of God's house, shaking. Partly cause of the drama and partly cause the rain was coming down hard, dude. Then Ezra got up, all priest mode, and was like, you all broke God's rules and married foreign ladies. You just stacked more guilt on Israel, like wave after wave. So now, own up to it. Tell the Lord, your dad's God, that you're sorry. Do what pleases him. Split from the locals and ditch the foreign wives. Then the whole crowd shouted together, yeah, dude. Like you said, it's totally what we gotta do. So like, there's a ton of people here and bro, it's pouring rain, we can't just stand out in this storm. Plus, this isn't some quick fix, you know? A lot of us totally messed up. Here's the move. Let the squad leaders step up for the whole crew, and let everyone who married foreign babes show up city by city, scheduled style. They'll bring their local elders and judges to work it out, and maybe, just maybe, God will chill out his righteous wrath. Only Jonathan, he's Asahel's boy, and Jahaziah, Tikva's kid, were on official duty for this sitch. Meshullam and Shabbathai the Levite were their wingmen. So the exile squad was like, we're on it. Ezra the priest and the tribal leaders, each repping their fam, got listed by name and sat down on the first day of the 10th month to, like, fully unpack the drama. They wrapped up the whole review of the foreign wife crisis by the first day of the first month. Efficiency vibes. And get this, some priestly bros were on the list too. From Jeshua's fam, yeah, the son of Jozadak. His crew included Messiah, Eleazar, Jerib, and Gedaliah. They made it official, like Pinky promised to send their wives away, and since they knew they goofed, they offered a ram as a trespass peace offering. Classic redemption arc. From the Immer fam, Hanani and Zebediah. From Haram's line, Messiah, Elijah, Shemaiah, Jehiel, and Uzziah. From the Pasher crew, Elioenai, Messiah, Ishmael, Nethaniel, Jozabad, and Elasa. Some Levites even got caught up. Jozabad, Shimi, Kaliah, aka Kelita, Pethahiah, Judah, and Eleazar. Even the choir guys weren't off the hook. Eliashib was one. And from the door checker team, aka the porters Shalom, Telem, and Uri. From the broader Israel fam, the Parash branch had Ramiah, Josiah, Malchiah, Miamin, Eleazar, Malchijah, and Benaiah. From Elam's gang, Mattaniah, Zechariah, Jehiel, Abdi, Jerimoth, and Eliah. From Zatta's line, Elioenai, Eliashib, Mattaniah, Jerimoth, Zabad, and Aziza. From Bibay, Jehohanan, Hananiah, Zabbai, and Athli. And the Bani bros? Meshullam, Malach, Adaiah, Jashub, Sheel, and Ramoth. And from the fam of Pahath Moab, we've got Adnah, Chalal, Benaiah, Messiah, Mattaniah, Bezaleel, Binui, and Manasseh. Like, that's a full surf team right there. Haram's squad? Eleazar, Ishijah, Malchiah, Shemaiah, and Shimeon. Plus Benjamin, Malach, and Shemariah. Brothers were rolling deep. From Hashem's line, Mattanai, Mattatha, Zabad, Eliphalet, Jeremiah, Manasseh, and Shimi. Like, holy complicated family tree, dude. Bani's crew brought Madai, Amram, and Ewell, Benaiah, Bediah, and Chela, Vanya, Mirmoth, and Eliashib, then Mattaniah, Mattanai, and Jasah. So many names, bro, it's like reading a surf contest lineup. Also Bani again, and Binui and Shimi, Shelemiah, Nathan, and Adaiah. probably all rocked man buns and scrolls. Maknadabai, Shashai, and Sharai, like totally not beach names but still cool. Then Azareel, Shelemiah, and Shemariah. Also Shalom, Amariah, and Joseph, solid trio, probs jamming on lyres. And from the Nebo boys, Jeel, Mattathiah, Zabad, Zabina, Jadau, Joel, and Benaiah. Wow, that's a lot of bros. So like, all these dudes had foreign wives. And like, a few even had kiddos with them. The vibes were definitely off, and everyone knew it.